Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I want to welcome you to another installation of Zoom In on the Halal Metropolis, where we check in on members of the Muslim community in the metro area to find out how they're doing, coping with the COVID pandemic, and then also highlighting the role that so many Muslim leaders are playing in solving trying to create calm in this moment of real, unprecedented craziness. So today I'm really happy to speak to Eman Ahmad, who is the principal of the Salina Intermediate School. How are you doing, Eman?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much, Sally, for having me. Appreciate it.
It's
And
really,
you said it best. We're trying to create that calm, everywhere, whether it's in our homes or in our workplaces, in our school community.
what a challenge. What a challenge you have, because there's nothing calm about a school room. There's nothing calm about being a school administrator and how you've been doing it in this crazy year. So first tell me about your family. I know your dad going way back. I used to eat in his restaurant. How's the family doing? How are you doing?
We're all doing great. We're just, we're all taking it one day at a time and, just happy and blessed with good health. And I think that's something that people have realized that we just take for granted. And, during this global pandemic, we've realized that, just really taking time to spend time with, the ones that you love and just, taking things one day at a time and just realizing that things will be okay, essentially.
Yeah, that's, I think, is going to be hard for a lot of people to get to that okay point, but we are getting closer. There's a lot more hope now. Have you, by the way, gotten your vaccine?
I have, and all thanks to Dr. Glenn Maleko, central office, and the entire team of just making this happen. They've been vaccinating Durham Public School staff in the hundreds, and just wherever they can get it, they've been providing us with that resource. And thankfully, myself and many staff members have already been vaccinated.
That's super. Yeah, that's what you want to hear. Every person I talk to who's been vaccinated, it just lifts my spirit, just that much more to know about it. Well, so how are things? How has it been for you guys at Salina?
It's been great. It's been really, I think, we've talked before, and I think the word for 2020, 2021 has been fluid. Situations have constantly changed, scenarios, but, like I said, taking it one day at a time and remaining positive and patient with the process. Because things can change overnight, things can change during the day, over weeks, and, just very thankful for my team, whether my leadership team, my assistant principal, Mr. Omar, my office staff, the custodial engineering staff, everyone has come together to just do what's best for the school community, for the students, and we were preparing for months for this reopening. And my non-instructional, my parapros, my support staff, my teachers, my counselor, my social worker, they have all come together, my parent liaison, and we're very blessed to have these different resources in our schools to help with students.
Well, so what is the plan? I don't know. Are you already back with students?
So we're preparing to come back. We've been having the special education students come in to the school, the Act 18 classrooms. And now starting this upcoming Monday, we're actually phasing the students in. So, for example, on the that week of the 1st, which is next week, we're bringing in K2, and then we're bringing in the 6th graders and the 9th graders for the initial phase. And then the week after, we're incorporating 3rd through 5th grade. So it would be in my building would be 4th and 5th, the 7th graders and the 10th graders, and the final phase would be our 8th graders, 11th and 12th graders. So it's just a slow process to ensure there's, it's gonna be really hard bringing everyone on the same week, even though they're coming in 2 different groups for social distancing purposes. But hopefully, we'll learn from the first week and adjust as needed. But we thought phasing them in would be the best scenario for the reopening.
And how has it been in that? In your neighborhood in particular, for people who don't know, the South End neighborhood it's one of the sort of more historic neighborhoods in the city of Dearborn. It's got the first mosque in Michigan, or the oldest mosque in Michigan anyway, which is a very active mosque, the American Muslim Society, or some people call it Masjid Dearborn. And it's got a very distinctive population, a lot of families from Yemen in particular, and perhaps a lot of families where, not everybody in the family has English, has strong English language skills and has the ability to really help and coach their students at home. So how has that been you know, dealing with maybe families who don't have, you know, a lot of computer technology in their houses, or who maybe don't have, you know, a traditional American education to rely on to help them with their kids.
It's been a real struggle. It's been a real struggle, especially, you know, back in the spring into the summer and early fall. Because a lot of these families, I mean, especially when COVID hit, a lot of these families are generational families. So you have multi people living in the same household, and to some degree. So imagine when the pandemic hit, colleges were closed, schools were closed. I mean, a lot of folks work from home, so everyone was in the household, and they were kind of limited to those supports, those, you know, English supports. So sometimes families or newcomer families or immigrant families relied on the school system to really provide that service of just making sure that they have the Wi-Fi for the children. The district did a phenomenal job ensuring that students had Chromebooks. I mean, we were just undoing Chromebooks from classrooms in the meantime until we were able to get more Chromebooks provided for the students. So everyone came together, and this is the beauty of this pandemic, is the unity that everyone, you know, put their heart and soul into, just coming together from all aspects, not just from the school level, but from the community level. All the supports that came in through the United Humanitarian Foundation, through Reaching Our Children, Access, LAHC, just so many different groups that have come together to provide these services, and ensuring that these families have social work services. You know, the food drives with like I said, the organizations that I just mentioned, and Gleaners as well, they have come together to ensure that our families are successful, that our school community is successful during these times.
That's great. That's great.
The
Yeah.
mosques have also played a role in this as well, the mosque.
Yeah. Well, I know that, you know, I don't think it's very common anymore in America. Maybe it's more maybe I don't know this, but for someone to grow up in a neighborhood, go to school at Salina Elementary School, go to U of M Dearborn, get their college degree, and then come back and work at Salina Elementary School. I think that's, you know, no one knows the neighborhood like you do, you know?
No, it's truly a dream come true, and it's coming back full circle has been a true blessing to come back and just serve this community, the community that helped raise me. It's been an honor, and I don't take that lightly. I really do, and I would always, you know, I truly go above and beyond for the students in this community. And
Well,
wherever I went, in terms of like just, you know, whichever school I was in, I always loved my job and loved what I did and loved the community. But there's something truly special about the South End community.
Well, and I think that, you know, again, given that you grew up there, people know you, they know your family, they have confidence in you. So I think some of the special, you know, challenges, like, you know, I know that the Yemeni community is growing in Melvindale. In Melvindale, they don't have teachers like you know, or they didn't. Maybe they're hiring people now, I'm sure. But you know, the school system didn't have people on their staff that spoke Arabic, you know, so they didn't have a way to communicate with some of these families. And some of the families that are moving there are the more recently arrived people. So I just can imagine that your being in that role would give a lot of people confidence, make it easier for people to communicate with the school, you know, have people have confidence that they're really being heard. This is so I'm just very happy for Dearborn and for the public schools that you're in this position. I think it's a great, you're a great resource for the community. So I'm just, you know, I can see, and you're not worked up today. You really are calm. You really do get a lot of help in the work that you do. That's very clear.
Again, we have a great team led by our superintendent, Dr. Glenn Maleko, and this district has been a model for other districts across, you know, not Southeast Michigan, not only Southeast Michigan, but across the United States. So in terms of being or taking the lead on ensuring that we provide these services, ESL services, and you know, just being a model district overall.
Well, let me ask another thing that's going to happen this year that I think the public schools are a little bit better at dealing with than the university is Ramadan. So how is that gonna, what's the plan? I mean, last year you weren't meeting during Ramadan, so you didn't have to deal with this, but what's the plan this year? How are you gonna have COVID and Ramadan and this strange school year that how are those things gonna intersect?
It will look different. I think many families have gotten used to just, you know, having the later start time, and which we are still continuing to do across the board. So the families will have that later start time, because I know a lot of them stay up late for the nightly prayers. So we'll just continue business as usual, and hopefully, you know, this will be another struggle where, you know, just to kind of come through it together as a community and ensure that we do have a successful Ramadan in alliance with, getting a good education at the same time. So,
And keeping the family safe, all of the
of course,
above.
that's the number one goal, is ensuring that there is safety measures in place and keeping our communities safe.
Yeah, I saw that the MMCC, the Imams Council, just came out with a new sort of discussion or guidance on how the mosques, how the masajid should handle things. So I think there's going to be a lot more people attending the mosque this year than there were last year. So
Right.
I think it'll help provide a new sense of of returning to normal. That'll be great. So
And that's what all we want, is things to go back to normal, and that won't happen unless everyone does their part, and to ensure that their masks stay on, and just everyone has to do their part as a community.
yeah, we have to follow the rules. I mean, we're what, I think 10% or 12% of Michigan has been vaccinated. So we got a long way to go before we can start to relax those rules. But anyway, well, I'm so glad that you and your staff have been vaccinated. That is super news. And I wish you all the best luck next week when the schools start to open again. You start to welcome, more students back into the classroom. I think that'll be exciting. I know your teachers are probably really excited,
They are.
and the families too. So thank you for talking with us. Thank you for all that you do. If anybody in the audience has a story that you would like us to share, just reach out to us, get in touch. We'd be happy to talk to you. So thank you, Eman.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye bye.